of the season. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show on not just another channel, Camnet TV. I'm your host. My name is Precious Nzea, Sakale's in the Of course, like any other introduction, I'm not alone on set. I'm joined by Banda Tandiwe.
Yeah, with a few days to go to Christmas, very exciting. No, I don't have enough energy for you this morning. But anyway, with Christmas coming through in just a few days, I'm sure all of you are in that festive season and that festive mood. I know most of you guys are looking forward. We've seen so many places decorated, including our office, decorated with Christmas trees and all these Christmas decorations. And, you know, it's about that season. It's... I feel like it has come too soon. I feel like we just started the year, then boom, like it's Christmas.
Took too long.
COVID has really
pushed a lot of things.
Pushed a lot of things, to be honest, because I didn't see Christmas coming this soon. Or maybe I don't really feel the festive season currently because, like, I have exams. So
oh yeah.
I don't know who puts exams. You know, who puts exams?
During
like
the
lecturers, VCs out there. Why put exams during the festive period? Because, you know, the concentration is just, everybody's inviting you to say, oh, can we hang out? Can we hang out?
No, I'm studying.
No, I'm studying. It's quite boring, to be honest.
But anyway, you got this. It's worth it. You will...
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, but the town is painted with Christmas-ish.
But that, I will definitely celebrate Christmas because we all know the sole purpose of Christmas, and that is celebrating the birth of Christ. The 25th of December,
yeah.
we it's a public holiday. We do it every year, and I feel like it's something that most of us are looking forward to, especially if you are Christian.
Yeah.
I feel like even other religions do jump on the boat.
Yeah, they do.
It's just that period. Yeah, so you ought to celebrate because Jesus is the reason for the season. So you definitely have to be part and parcel of this big day. Remember, it's all about sharing, caring, showing love to your loved ones, just going out of your way to show love, even to those who are not so close to you.
Yes, of course. And also, in case you're thinking of what to do this festive season, I think the best is just to visit family. If you've got people that you haven't seen in a while.
I know people say this all the time.
Yeah.
What are you doing this Christmas? No, I'll just be with family. Hey. Really? You know, people usually just say, oh, I'm going to be with family all the time. Okay, I know there are families that do have these gatherings and all that, but others just use that as an excuse.
That's not to hang out with the other people?
Yeah, I remember years back.
You used that excuse?
No. On a lighter note, I had a good friend of mine, and we had a good relationship the whole year. And as we were approaching Christmas, I noticed a few changes. You'd call, the person's not really picking up. Christmas Eve, no, I'll be spending it and counting down with the family. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be counting down with my family too. You know, it's Facebook.
Update status.
People update statuses or they're hanging out. I'm just like, but I thought
we are doing countdown with family.
Exactly. So it doesn't really sit well with me when somebody tells me, I know most people love to spend time with their families on Christmas, which I do most of the time. But for others, it's just like an excuse. But it's very important to spend time because it brings out a different vibe, you know. You're seated together as family, you're sharing a meal, everybody partakes in cooking, whatever it is, if it's the rice, the
salad
has this vibe. You know?
I know, right?
And you do it together.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't have anything planned for Christmas, go and visit your family. Yeah. Especially for the ladies. Like, there's just this vibe when you have your cousins, relatives from your mother's side, relatives from your father's side, and then you're just out there in the kitchen doing different meals. This one is touching here, this one is touching here, and then after all, when you're done, you just sit at the table, share stories, and share the food, share the meal. That one time where everybody comes together, and then there'll probably be some conversations that will be uncomfortable to some people.
Yeah, because everybody will be asking, so when are you getting married? So I saw this joke. I'm sure people have come across it. Okay, it's a bit the last part is a bit questionable. So this girl puts up a status and she's saying, you know how at family gatherings people will be asking you, like that oldest auntie will be like, when are you getting married? So apparently she said, I decided to do the same at funerals. I'm just like, that's so
when are you dying?
Like, when but anyway, that's just like on a lighter note, especially for those who love to ask very personal questions. You know, I feel like in our society we've reached a point where we need to begin to guard, and that will bring us down to our topic for today, which is mental health. Some of the signs that you're probably going away from your sanity and all that. I feel like our society has been transformed into something that is not so suitable for so many individuals, and it starts from the little things. I really believe that you know, an outcome depends on what you put in from the very beginning. So before you know it, it begins to blossom, it begins to grow, and it turns into something big that gets you depressed, and next thing you're having mental issues and all that. I'll give you for an example. You find you just got married, and 6 months down the line, and everyone is expecting you to. It's like there's this time frame that you're given to say, oh, when you get married, you're just given like a few months, and people should be seeing a change, or they should see you throwing up, or they should just suspect that you're pregnant, you know. And then you approach this person, you're asking them, oh, when are you having a child? People have different issues. Maybe that person has problems of conceiving,
or they've just decided
or maybe
not to have
their
a child that early.
husband, or maybe they've just decided not to have a child, but you're all up in their faces. And before you know it, imagine if you're somebody who has a condition, okay, and before the mental health aspect comes in, right? So you're at home and you get a first question from me, and I'm like, oh, when are you having a child? Like, no, it'll come, but deep down you know you have a problem. Another relative comes and asks you the same question. Before you know it, you're now seated to say, okay, these people are expecting so much from me. What is happening to me? What happens in the long run? You become depressed. And before you know it, it affects your sanity, and even maybe your husband begins to behave in a certain way because of not having a child, or whatever the situation may be. So I really do believe that everything is interconnected. It may not just be on the aspect of having a child, but even those people who tend to have children before marriage, there's so many things that are coupled with that. So I feel like our society has a very big role to play on other people's mindsets and all that, because depression does come from what influences our environment. So you just can't, I know sometimes it can be personal because maybe you feel you are not good enough, or you have these insecurities, but depression sometimes can actually come from your environment, from the questions, how you're treated. So what are some of the signs that you feel could be the first, like TikTok? You're losing it, precious.
I think one of the first signs that you would actually notice, either in a person that you know or in yourself, is, I'll start from an individual point of view, is when you start feeling like living is not worth it. Okay, you just sit there and everything just hits you at once. You feel like everyone around you has got their life figured out, and you feel like you're left out and you're not doing enough to be where you're supposed to be. That's sign number one. Because first of all, that's low self-esteem. That's insecurity. So immediately you start feeling like you're not good enough for the world or for people around you. Find someone to talk to. That's trigger number one, as for me. And then if there's a friend that you know, sometimes our friends communicate to us indirectly. It might be how they talk to us. If they, let's say they used to come visit you most of the times, like on weekends, they would call, check up on you. If they stop, and then you hear that from this, these days, these days, sama kama maningo, this is an posta maningo pa Facebook. That should be a trigger if you are friends and if you really know that person. So you need to talk to them, because some people decide when they're going through such situation, they like build wars. Okay, they build wars so that they don't have time to explain to these other people what's going on in their lives. So the best that we can do is just check up on each other. That's the best. Like, check up on each other. If you've seen that your friend has been quiet for a very long time and you haven't sat and updated on what's going on in their life, you're not really trying to get in their business, but you're just trying to show that in as much as they're going through a tough time, you are there for them. Okay, so on the other side, we will have like two people. We'll have one who I would call a survivor of suicide. He also wrote a book. So he's going to come through and tell us more on how life has been, what triggered that on the mental perspective, and also how you can survive such situations. So, but before we get into that, I think we can get into our morning boost, try and exercise. You know, it's a festive season. Summer, I feel summer just like...
I feel like this is the season I've become so lazy. So after this, I really hope that I will be inspired
to work out. So we'll get into our sports segment, that's exercise. Make sure that you call whoever that you do it with, 5 minutes with Pastor Isaac Makisa, and he'll be telling us on how to make sure that we keep fit in the morning to make sure that we start our day on a lighter note. We'll be back with a conversation on the other side. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. I started with a warm-up before I stepped in here. And let's do it now. 5 minutes workout. Make sure that your partner joins in, your children that comes in. And let's do something today now. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to start with the hands now. Shoulder press. Let's go. I'm going to do 40. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many? 30. 1, 2, 3, go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Great workout. I'm already feeling this. So let's go. I'm dealing with the hands. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, next 10, I'm going to bring the hands to the front now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we've done 60 for the hands. Let's go now. Remember last time I was here, we were running, we were jumping. So today we're going to do it differently now. Here we go. There you go. Stay at that. Just stretch your legs. Good for you in the morning. Let's go. Stretch. There you go. There you go. Let's go. Let's go. Stay at it. Keep doing it. You feel like your legs are becoming heavy? It's part of the workout. Let's go. Awesome stuff. You're doing well. Keep pushing. Don't lean on anything unless you can't really stand the intensity of the workout. Let's go. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. All right. Awesome stuff. Okay, I'm going to give you something now. Remember, you need to do this every morning before you leave. Okay. Basic push-ups. That's what you're going to do now. Lock your legs, kneel down, and come down here. Let's go. 1. 2. 10. Let's go. 20. I'm gonna give you a 5-second break, but it's within my time. Take a break. You can do 5 minutes, seconds. You can do 10. So 20 more. We do 40. Let's go, Team Camnet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. Then you take your 10-second break, but I'm not gonna take that long break. Okay, last 10. Then I've given you 40 push-ups. Anybody can do this, you kneel. Let's go, last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great stuff. All right. Thank you so much. And that's it for today. I'm going to see you again next time at the same time. Make sure that you do this every morning before you go for your duties. Thank you. I sign out. Machisa Isaac is my name.
Welcome back. You're still on the Rise and Thrive Breakfast. So hope you've stretched a little bit and making sure that you feel better. It's just 5 minutes, but trust me, if you do that every day, it's going to actually have an impact on your health.
Yeah, those should be one of your resolutions for 2021. And talking about resolutions, have you been able to write down, what have you achieved
this year?
I know it's a strange question, like why would you ask somebody that, but
okay, but to be honest,
do you feel achieved?
No, I don't, because there's so many things that I had put in place. I haven't even reached half of the list that I had met, but we are grateful that I managed to do 1 or 2 things on the list. I'll push the rest to next year. I will not stress myself about it.
Are you blaming COVID?
No. I'm not blaming COVID. It somehow contributed, but not 50%. Maybe like 25% of the reasons why I haven't done it. Not like 50%. I'm not blaming COVID. I would have done it without COVID, but yeah. We push to next year.
Interesting. So we're gonna write those. Well, I've been able to achieve a number of things. I got a new job. I joined Camnet in March?
Yeah, that's one of my thingy as well.
Yeah, so that's an achievement for me. I've progressed in terms of school. My business has blossomed. Well, I could say like there have been a number of things. COVID did affect my floral business, but like on a wider aspect, I'm grateful to God for even the tiniest thing that I've been able to achieve. Yeah, I just remembered like I don't know, it's not an achievement, but yeah. Do share your resolutions, achievements of the year, what you think you could have changed, what you think you could have done better in this particular year. But we have a very interesting topic for today, and that is we're tackling mental health. And later on in the program, we will be having somebody who will be able to share and shed more light. That's Duncan Nkoma. Suicide is not a solution. This is a topic that most of us tend to run away. It's stuff that you don't want to discuss. You know, it's stuff that I have literally, like when you go to your parents, you'll be like, oh, suicide, yes, I don't want to listen to that. So our parents will just be like, the moment you just go to say, oh, me, I'm feeling like my life is coming to an end, they just don't want to hear it. You know, so I know like it's a way of them running away from like the thought of their child coming to tell them that. But sometimes it's very important to listen to what somebody has to say. Sometimes you'd feel like it's just attention seeking, but these issues are real, and these are issues that are affecting our generation. Because I've seen so many people die. I have been around so many people that have died because people feel they're just trying to seek for attention. You know, there was one scenario at a particular hospital where the parent and the sisters come in, and this girl is unconscious, and they're thinking, she's just faking it, you know, she's just collapsed or whatever. 5 minutes down the line, you lose the patient, and you go back to them to say, oh,
the person is
we've
gone.
Lost the patient. They're like, what do you mean? This is something she does all the time. She's just doing it for attention. So you find that sometimes we tend to shun these people away, and they're going through so much, but because they feel, oh, she's just trying to gain some attention, or he's just trying to get attention. Most of the time it's attention.
It's attention, true.
People will think, they're just trying to get people's attention or some sympathy here and there. But most of the time, these are issues that are being faced currently, and they are serious. I have a friend of mine that once at the same school, it all started like a joke, you know, where she would put up these posts and things like that. But this one time I sat down and I met another friend, and I was telling them to say, you know, I'm really bothered. I don't know what it is about this person. And my other friend tells me to say, you know, this girl has mental health issues. And she's tried to commit suicide more than 5 times. So I'm like, wow. You know, and this person comes from a good family. Her parents are of wealth status in our country currently. You know, and it just amazes me to say this person may have all these issues. But I love where they're driving their energy now. Now they've decided to be these mental health advocates and all that. And I do appreciate the efforts that most mental advocates come in and just share their experience and stuff like that. But I feel like we need more than just them, because, you know, when you're coming out from a certain place where you tried to commit suicide, I know you'll come and try to talk me out of it, but we need to also make sure that you're still okay. We need to make sure that you're just not doing it so that maybe one day you'll be like, oh, anafuno spy or then abambo kambisa bantu. Then abazipa. So it's a topic that is very sensitive, but we ought to talk about it because these are real issues that are affecting our country. Remember that you can reach us on the number that is scrolling down the screen, and we'll be able to communicate, give us your views, give us your opinions. Very interesting things have been happening. The voter registration, the voter extension.
There's so many. This week has actually carried a lot of things. There's the voter registration extension. There's also a devastating story that actually gave most of us goosebumps of those 2 nursing students, female student who murdered his girlfriend because she wanted, fiance I should say, because she ended the relationship and then later on killed himself. That's what has triggered us talking about mental health, because for someone to think like that.
You think they have a mental health problem?
I feel they have a mental health problem, because you can't, you're not until for you to act on something, you think through it. Okay, and it obviously has been running through your mind for some time, which brings us to abusive relationship. And this is not the first story that we're hearing. There's also the one of Tassila Tembo, who was murdered as well. So it all comes from the brain. I feel it's a mental thing, honestly speaking. And also handling abusive relationships. I know there are triggers that come through when you're in a relationship tonight. At some point. And it comes from the words.
I don't think so. Sometimes, you know, you're so deep into this whole relationship
that you can't see those things.
Your partner is not even like showing you that other side. I feel like, you know, when that guy was speaking, he spoke with so much pain. And then following the stories after, it's like he was in another relationship that again didn't work out. And now this.
Now it's also showing signs of not working out.
Exactly. And then again, he had his own story on the phone, so we don't know if that's true, because at this point, the young lady can't speak for herself, you know, and he can't speak either unless the two are still alive. But I feel like it's a great loss. She was in her second year? Second.
Not,
you know, she was destined to have such a bright future, and just your life being cut short just like that. But this is an awakening call for the young people. As we go to these universities, as we try to explore the world and get into these relationships, be careful. Do a background check. It's very important.
It's very important.
I remember when before I was found, when somebody decides to speak to me, I'll firstly get their name. I'll get their name. And we have Facebook. Facebook is very helpful. Very, very helpful. You do a background check. See your common friends. You find that, oh, maybe he's friends with Precious or she's friends with Precious. You go check. You ask Precious, hey, Precious, you're my friend. Like, do you know this person? What type of home do they come from? For me, what type of home and how somebody was raised are two important aspects as you begin a relationship. You know, because if this girl was aware, like, where this guy is coming from, and she knew maybe if she wasn't ready for the relationship or it wasn't going to be anything serious, she should have stayed away. But maybe she was so in love. But again, you need to look at the key elements. Like I said, we don't know the true story because these are both people that both of them can't speak for themselves right now. But to say that it's a mental health problem, well, it could be. Okay, it is, because I don't think you should be in your normal state to actually kill somebody because they said they don't want you and because you say you're so hurt.
I said it.
You kill another human being.
And you know when
you strangle them, so he says, I strangled her. And
if
the
she's
bitterness,
alive, then ala pepales.
yes, and the bitterness in just the statement, you know, it's just unbearable. Imagine the pain that her family is going through after all the investments and all that. But again, mental health, yeah, I agree.
You do?
Yeah, you should be very, very sick in the head for you to really for you to take that step, to be honest. But remember, that's just my opinion. You can give us your opinion on the number 096-8675273, 096-8675273. What is your take on our topic for today? Who is to blame really for mental health problems, and how best do you feel they can be handled? As we all know, this is a very sensitive topic, and so many people have either been affected or they have been victims of the same.
Yes, of course. And also, just before I lose my thought on the young couple that we lost, I feel a relationship with God is actually the best to go, because if those two had a godly relationship, I think they would have... No, listen where I'm going. Don't cut me short. Listen where I'm going. Because...
it goes way beyond that.
Well, it's a mental thing. It's also a spiritual thing.
Okay.
It's both. Because when you do certain acts, as a Christian, we know that they're demons. Okay? You know that sometimes they're just... You don't know what's going on, but you're doing it. What would you call that?
So what if they were praying?
Praying, and then...
So they don't know God.
And then you decide to kill somebody, or you
know what's amazing is somebody does something like that, and they even have the nerve, audacity to actually say ngale pepalesa. So you know that God does exist, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like sometimes God just sits back and he's just like, oh,
my children,
you actually know that I'm here.
So I think every relationship has this. God needs to be the center of it, either in courtship, in marriage, or you're taking certain steps to getting into these two. I think you should seek God's presence first before you go further. And also now there's this thing to say, so what I'm thinking is that person was actually, what was going through their mind is that I can't live without this person. They're like my life.
It's either like, I have you
or nobody does.
But like you said earlier, where you said some of these are things that you see whilst you're in a relationship. Be very sensitive with what somebody says. It's in the jokes. It's in the jokes. The truth is in the jokes sometimes. In the behavior, in what they say, and that's why I told you it's important to do a background check. See how people behave when they're with their friends. It really does explain a lot. Why didn't your previous relationship work? So there are all those aspects, but to a point of killing somebody, that is just wrong. And I feel like we need to be, I can't say certain measures to be put in place, because I mean, the nation at large or the government will not be, oh, who is Tandiwe with? Or what is Tandiwe doing? How are we going to protect Tandiwe? It starts with you
yourself.
As a person, and what you want for, for yourself. Because even just the step of going into a bush, you know you're both angry, you know you're both using emotions. You go into a bush to do what? To discuss?
Oh, man. Did I suffer a babati?
So it's 0968-675273. Give us your comments and what you think could be the reason as to why we have an increase in number of killings, and just what could be the problem really. Where is the problem? Is it the individuals? Is it the men with the problem? Is it the women? Why should you kill your partner in a relationship?
And also, I think with women, yes, we understand we have got a high level of tolerance. But I feel this is like the word to like a young girl out there, or a woman that is tolerating an abusive relationship. Okay, if you are hit, you're beaten, and then you decide to say akachinja, especially in relationships, you're not married yet. So if you feel that it's where it's headed to, I think you are better off leaving. But then if you have a certain commitment, you need to approach somebody and talk about it, because a life will be lost. Okay, to reach an extent whereby you're both angry, and then we don't know who's going to stab who, we don't know who's going to hit who. That's why counseling is really important, especially if you know that you're in an abusive relationship, especially if you're married and you can't. There are people that say they can't leave because, for better for worse, there were vows that were meant. But in a relationship, for me, you hit me, hey, my friends, I'm going. It starts from there.
Well, we do not know what goes on behind these closed doors, but we will be having Duncan.
We have a caller.
All right. Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Kawe.
What's your name?
My name is Frida.
Okay, Frida. Please go ahead with your comment and contribution.
Okay. It's a very wonderful topic, actually. I love it. I love it. Sometimes we need to be educated about these things because, hey, disappointment stay nowhere. Disappointment stay nowhere, but I would want to say sometimes it's spiritual. Yeah, sometimes it's spiritual. You know, sometimes us being Christians, we find that somebody's already in a death trap. The devil just wants to find a way in which you execute or in which you accomplish his plan. Yes, otherwise that was very sad.
So you do feel it's spiritual.
Come again?
So your conclusion on the matter of the killings that we're getting to have is you can't really attribute it to mental health, but for you feel it's something that is just spiritual.
For me, I think it's something spiritual.
Okay.
Yes, I believe this was something that already started in the spiritual realm. So it's either the man had the spirit of death already, or a lady, so the devil just wanted to find a loophole. Which way am I going to use to eliminate the life of this person? Yes, or how am I going to stop their destinies? Yes.
All right, Frida, thank you for coming through.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Breakup day, no.
Remember, it's 0968-675273. That is the number that you're reaching us on. 0968-675273. So we did have our caller who thought it's something spiritual.
It is.
Okay, in the medical world,
it's mental.
It's mental. Spirituality, yes, we are Christians, but we tend to kind of like divert, you know, because I mean, you have this patient who's convulsing because they've drunk doom. You really won't say that they drank doom because
the devil
they
pushed
have the spirit of death and
medical point of view.
But
it's mental. Yeah,
it covers a lot of things, mental, spiritual, and that is why we need to keep our sanity mentally, spiritually, socially. There are so many aspects that are put together for a human being to function fully and properly. So there are different aspects put together, but it's very sad, to be honest, and I feel like it's something that needs to come to an end in our country, because we have this tendency in our country when something comes up, maybe take up that call.
Hello, good morning.
Bwino bwana mama.
Bwino muli bwanji tikamba na ndani mutitumira kuti.
Mugamba na wamemba kuchoma.
Okay bamwemba kuchoma kuibwa.
Sorry yeah.
Munatenga voters card.
Kutata pekee wanaambia wewe chapa online system.
Oh, okay. Go ahead na contribution. Oh, okay, great. What's your contribution this morning?
Ni kwa hiyo ya matandema kweli. Mwezi wa kazi, jina mko na msema, sipa hii something new. Every time mwezi wa mundu wa mko ndawa sio wote wa mtabirizo na ushukuru. Uye na chape ati aiwe na kusia leo. Without telling this one. Nicho unaberenga wote waonisala zako leo ndio wazamfika wewe mmoja ulivima kushika manini because you wa makazi musi amndoza hizo because wapeza kamera mgaizo wakala nda matime ya mimi mgaizo yake ndama mzako wewe mimi mwana akasoa tena kama ngakezi na ndama musi kaida sio ni kulira pizza na tezana zako ni kulira leo lazima isumu zako ne fikirira
So vem mugani zati vangachite vevingalengese kuchita avoid such ni vichani.
Wakazi kuyamba ngafyazi bateka kushukuru babisiye akafunanga isi izileti kwati waleti eti maleti ndinoki wofuna wangu stuff za point guys wozi wasebingana manama alifeli kila nguo asebinga plate dokta imu whatever yes no money nitapaka ya no lanchwe hivyo vifunika wewe mwana wa mwambia wewe after spend more money kutika mungai so kiwa I'm telling you that really you know if your man needs to point you mtima tuzamvera kunaonga kipai chifupi pale wazamona
Mr.
Wasiyoshe disappoint wa mwana mwambia so gari gari bacha disappoint unamwona ndivyo hapo mngaizo vile vile kaoje wao chama mngaizo kinao wa maningi anakuze mndati na usi ya nilapo zana na chije sio wa mjima mseni mimi bana mshikia bambio
Okay.
Tamvera.
Sema bende ndo kamba.
Okay, skom.
Pai mafuta, ndio funga kwa serikali wa mafuta skari. Ndio makiri wa pake na pai. Kai tu wanapata kwa ndio
Oh, we lost that caller. He had actually valid points. One of them that I'm very, I'll give kudos to him is after he got his voters card, he helped at least 20 people to get their voters card, so which is a good thing. And he said the reason why the guy reacted in such a manner is because maybe he had done so much for the girl, and just having the thought of that person leaving you for somebody else, he just couldn't take it. But
that's being selfish, and you know, if you love something, you let it go.
If it comes back.
No.
It's yours,
not because if it comes back, whether it comes back or not. But if you really love something and you want the best for a person that you love, you will let go.
Okay.
Somebody that holding on to people is selfishness.
Yeah.
It's you don't own me as a person. Even if we got married or whatever, you don't own me. We are friends, we are partners, together we do great things. But if today I say I am walking away, it is my decision to walk away. You do not have to hold on to somebody or threaten to kill them. I've heard people that have literally been threatened to say, if I can't have you,
no one can.
No one else can. But that's being selfish. You know, there's someone for everyone. When you find your place, it fits in just right.
You feel at home.
So you shouldn't feel that you own an individual because you've taken this person to school. Well, you've done a great thing, and blessings come from God, not from people. You have sown a good seed, and that seed might work for you in the future. So you're not sowing a seed so that you may be able to be with this person for the rest of your life. You're sowing that seed for the future generations. I mean, if you find this girl, she hasn't been in school, she can't stand on her 2 feet. I've seen women that have been taken to school, you know, helped. their families help, people in their families are given jobs and all that. And one day she wakes up and she says, you know what, I do appreciate everything you've done for me, but
I can't do this.
I'm in love with somebody else. So you will not hold me hostage. We do have a caller. Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
From Choma.
Who, sir?
Mwemba.
Mwemba again.
Yes.
Okay, from Choma.
Yes, madam.
Please go ahead with your comment and contribution.
I think I was talking more on the issue of the issue of gender-based violence.
Yes.
Yeah, we are looking into the issue of women getting into relationship prematurely. Yeah, when some get to that prematurely, that's what will be the result, because you still want to jump from point A to point B, point C. Then what will happen is someone who wants to settle it might say, I am setting my mind on this person. Then you decide to support that person on that particular day. Somebody may think of what he wants to do with you, what he has done for you. He may end up losing it and thinking that he thinks it would be better for him. But and the way to that one, the previous incident has happened, of which they did proudly say, I'm moving on to this person. You don't do that. You have made relationship in a Christianity way, in a smart way, that not either in the both of you. That is saying, I'm moving on to this person. Truly, anyone can do that, because they say, I'm not with this person. You think, what is so important about this person that I have not done for this person? Maybe that person has been helping out with the cookies at times, the food and everything at his cook, but somebody today says, it's done himself or with you. You think of how much have I spent, why you could this person come out today and open like this? So better is that person will say, no, please, today this is the issue, but not openly to say, I'm moving here, I'm getting out to that great person. So women, and what you are doing as the Camnet, I think we need to continue that, so that it encourages our women to say, please, if you are not ready to be with somebody, don't be involved in relationship. Yes, that will help us.
All right, Mr. Member, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I like the wider aspect that where our topic is getting us to. And now we bring out another aspect of maturity. Because if you say, I know there's two things. There's decisions, and then there's an aspect of maturity, which is very, very important. Because let's say this person has taken you to school, right? And they've been with you step by step. I mean, there should have been a point where you feel, okay, do I really want to be with this person, or this person now just becomes your source of income, or you know that you need to be educated, so you can't let go. But again, it brings us down to the aspect of prematurity, because when you look at the ages that come up most of the time in these killings, they range. But the recent one, I think, was 2020?
2025, this 2027.
Okay, 20 to 25.
Yeah.
When you look at the aspect of someone being 20, well, maturity doesn't come with age, because people tend to mature at different levels. But again, I do agree with the previous caller where he says getting into this relationship prematurely. What is the sole purpose of getting into a relationship? And this is a conversation that I tend to have with I think we've had this conversation together. I've had this conversation with a number of my friends. What you get into a relationship for what?
For what?
We do have a caller.
Hello? Tulanda manani? Okay, and then mkwai.
was our relationship. I'm a tomorrow, Miss Dama, great, that the man of Papa Mepo. Because the spirit is a so if you look at some books, that may start the village speaker to Amon Avaripa or the doctor that Sira. So a home Kashana Varipa. So other Kashana relationship, the Dovati, Adi Kuka no Kuka, Adi Kakuba, Nurumendo, our Festa Shiva. Balungo took the Laboke school. Okuchira Tumford Umbi Bambi, Pandova Mendo. I am about to give a I am a Tamba Matthew, I am Shara. They are the one hour. Change about the four, we have a young brother, so it's reported. I like a student was about level relationship, not about the relationship school. It's something like a contribution.
To a total.
Well, that is very, very true. I do agree. You know, we've seen people shift themselves even at university, and the parents are not even aware.
Nope.
You literally marry yourself off. I don't know who becomes the preacher in that, who gives the vows and who says that the whole process. I now pronounce you husband and wife. But it's very wrong, and I hope that the young people are really learning from this. It's all fun and games till it goes to the left. Because if you're going to get into a relationship, whether you're in university, whether you're in high school, whether you're in primary school, or whether you are working, your sole purpose of getting into a relationship should be marriage. If it's not leading to marriage, then what are you doing? You're better off working on yourself as a young person, going to school, getting that degree, getting that master's, putting your life together, and then get into a relationship. But if you're going to get into a relationship because you want to play, like we've been hearing from different callers, or you have John for talk time, or you have even men. Let's just not dwell on the aspect of women.
Yes.
We have seen men that are abused in relationships by their women. We haven't had any killing. I've never heard of any, but I'm sure they
No, we have. There's that gym instructor that was burned by that lady because he engaged somebody else.
You see, so these things, matters of the heart, need to be taken very seriously, because you will not come and toil with somebody's emotions
and just get
people react differently. As much as it is very wrong to go to an extent of killing somebody, but you know, people harbor so much and it becomes too much where they don't even know, like, what do I do with all this anger? I've invested so much in this person. So if you're not serious with somebody, don't get into a relationship with them. It doesn't matter how old you are. I've seen way older people, 40, 35, get into a relationship and you ask them, oh, so what's your thing? Oh, I'm just spending time. You are 38 and you're just spending time. Passing time. So all those things begin to add up. And it works both ways. So let's begin to do the right people, the right things as young people, as the youth, as society members, as good citizens.
Yeah, of course. And also our previous caller mentioned something to say, it's becoming like a trend. It's like a spirit now. So we all need to be aware and focus, like be attentive. If you're in school and you have gotten your items and moved into a house and you're staying with go back. Your parents don't know if anything go wrong,
and
your
parents as well.
Guilty. Parents
as well. This is a calling for all parents. When you do send your children to university,
check up on them.
Do check up on them. You find sometimes you're in Mufulira or you're in Chigombo or whatever town, and your child is in Lusaka. You don't even know what where they live. You don't know their type of friends. Because they can easily pick up the call and say, oh, hi, I'm fine.
I'm home.
Yet I'm in a man's house and you're not aware, and you are sending me. I don't even go to school. Next thing I tell you, oh, I have to repeat the year, and you don't understand why. So we do have a caller. Good morning. Please tell us your comment and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Halfway.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Bono Manga.
Okay, Mr. Bono, please go ahead with your comment.
Yes. Still back nowadays becomes a trending where the different area. I think they had a month. We are hearing about those 3 or so
just spending maybe 4 days or so, looking at the man, at the woman, or the children. I think if you look at that one, they are at the level where they are mature to make the relationship. But the issue of killing each other is something that's supposed to create kind, what is called. And I'm like that I'm calling to the career, which is Christian oriented. That may be beyond human act. That may be spiritual in one or the other. You look at the way it is now, it just comes from a linear structure of church where a man or a student killing each other because of the relationship. Just a few months, few days ago, we hear of a doctor being murdered just because of the relationship. And we hear in previously, almost in the same way, both like to the structure of church, which was not happening before. Meaning, we have to look beyond our Christians now. I'm not talking about, they look at here, that might be more obvious. And the previous one, or the last one, we hear some a man saying, we enter the takeover. That is beyond. Because I'm not supposed to say this. We cannot just over covenant like maybe like 3. It's beyond that for someone to do. Even just spending alone cannot make us the level of purity. So I look at it might be some sister to that. This is my take on it.
Thank you so much for coming through, Mr. Mono.
So Mr. Mono also feels it's spiritual.
It's spiritual. So today paper guys manding, because I believe relationship ungapadile sapakat ngawamna tfeshu poko. You are down on your knees, ask for guidance. Why am kufidanda? No mnobe na ye na yo kwa am kupepa. Mwaisa makumana mwafidanda fiapwa. But then ngana uyuna afura no uyuna afura. Ewa mbata mpepa mwana pela kwesi. This is where it leads to. I'll stand on the fact that it's a spiritual thing. Like, if you are both praying and you feel like you're having a hard time in a relationship, you know who to turn to. If you feel an individual can't help you, you kneel down and pray to God, ask for guidance on how you're going to sort out your issues. Your partner would be doing the same. By the time you guys are sitting down and trying to finalize and conclude what is going on and find a solution, at least you'd have guidance from the Almighty, which will actually give you a solution, a lasting solution. So, paper in these relationships. And it's one of those things that we don't really consider when you're dating. Like, but it's really important.
But I love the fact that it's there's a lot of premature relationships.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you look at you go out in public and you know, sometimes not to blame our men or anything, but you find this is somebody who's maybe 30, 31, and then you go and date an 18-year-old. And they're expecting marriage. This 18-year-old maybe just finished school and waiting to get into uni. And just 30. You are a grown person.
You've gone through it all,
and this is the person that you love. And you want to marry them. Remember that this person I'm referring to is 18. She's just finished school. Maybe marriage is not even top on the list. Probably those fantasies that she gets to have to say, oh, maybe I want to get married and, you know, have a husband someday and all that. But even if she went back home and told the parents, I found a man to marry me, they'll be like, for what?
Now.
You see? Yes. So there's a lot of premature relationships, especially in our society. But again, you find there's an aspect of spirituality which has already been brought out, an aspect of premature relationships, and the last one we've attributed it to being a mental health problem. But we will come back and speak more as we talk to our guest, who is Duncan Koma on the other side. Remember that you can call in and you can ask questions, give us your comments on the number 0968 675273. That is 0968 675273. Do join Precious and Duncan on the other side.
Welcome back. You're still on Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show on not just another channel, Camnet TV, with me, Precious, and Tandiwa on the other side. And we're talking about recognizing early signs of mental health and also the voter registration exercise extension. So if you haven't gotten your voter's card, I think you've been given a second chance to actually go through and get your voter's card and make sure that you participate in the 2021 general elections. Now, joining me on set is Duncan and Nkoma, who will just be highlighting more on our topic of discussion today. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Precious.
Thank you for joining me this morning.
You're welcome.
So for those that don't know who Duncan is, who is Mr. Nkoma?
Mr. Nkoma is a preacher.
Yes. I feel the spirit.
Yeah, I'm an engineer by profession.
Oh,
I studied at Notec, heavy equipment repair, and also I'm a mental health advocate as well. Yeah, then a lot of skills and talent.
I would say a man of so many talents.
Yes.
Now, Duncan, you wrote a book titled "Suicide is Not a Solution." What triggered you to write this book?
What made me write the book is the experience that I went through. I struggled so much with mental health. That was mental health illness. I was sick for about 12 years. I had migraine headache, which was very painful. I just can't imagine that pain on someone else. It was very painful, and that could attack me like twice a week. So it affected everything about me, my life, my education, everything was affected. And also that also brought in some sores on my lips, where every time I go to school, my friends were laughing at me because my lips were also red, so they could call me on different types of names, saying, "No, I take alcohol, I drink cachaso," and that could pain me. And now you can imagine, you're in class, and maybe you admire a certain lady in class, and maybe they bring up that comment, and even the same lady laughs. So it was very painful. Like, you'd feel like, I think I'm unworthy, and I think I don't deserve anything good. And I started walking. I couldn't walk up straight, so I was trying to hide my lips, and I could feel like I'm not worthy for anything. I don't, and also coming also from a broken home, also that affected, also contributed. So, and until I said, I think there's nothing to live for, and I'll just commit suicide. Yeah, that's then from there, when I attempted killing myself, and I survived the attempts, and that's how I was so surprised that what God could do was, you're sending people that wants to commit suicide to me, and they're sharing with me like their stories. I think I'm going through a tough challenge, and I come in and just share with them what I've been through, and
how you survived.
How I survived, and they'll be like, "Wow, you went through that." And at the end of the day, you find that they are able to be encouraged. So I said, okay, let me just write the book, and I realized that God has called me to become a mental health advocate, and I started reaching out to other people, encouraging other people. Yeah, that's how I got inspired to write the book.
Okay, so after you survived attempted suicide, I would call it, is that the time that you decided to follow your spiritual path?
Yes, that was the time that because the last attempt that I had an encounter with God, and where God was telling me how much He loves me, and He also told me that He loves me, and I have a calling. So He told me that He wants to use me, and He just told me that whatever that I was going through at that particular moment, He said there's something greater in store for me. So I was encouraged, and I received hope. And from there, I gave my life to Christ. And that's how I started praying. And, all of a sudden, the sickness went on its own.
We thank God for that.
Amen.
So now, Duncan, looking at the content of your book, what are some of the common causes of suicide?
I talked about depression. financial challenges. I talked about financial challenges, sexual abuse. Those are the contents that are found in the book. And I also talked about desperation, where somebody, you are desperate for something in that thing.
You can't have it.
You can't have it. And where now you feel depressed and you maybe feel like just ending my life. And so this book also is, I also did interviews. I was interviewing other people the time I was writing it. And I talked about sexual abuse as well. So I interviewed people that went through that, and we added their stories. It's a real life book, story book, yeah. So we added their stories. And I also talked about relationship challenges, like the one we just had recently. Yes. Then I also talked about drugs and drug addiction and alcohol addiction. Yes. And also talked about shame. Also talked about loss of a beloved one. Those are some of the causes of suicide. Yes. Yeah.
So let's now advocate while we are here. What is like your before we get to ways that we can prevent it? You're not assured of tomorrow or the next second. What is your biggest message that you actually lay out there when you're talking to people about mental health?
My biggest message that I lay out is that there is hope, and whatever the situation that one might be going through, there is hope. And I usually tell them that whatever I use my story to encourage other people. I tell them that I've been through this, and this is what I went through, and today I'm here. Other people have told me, like, you'd have waited for you to become rich so that you start advocating on mental health. But I said, the most important thing is that I overcame that stress, I overcame that depression, I overcame that challenge. So I think I have that right to talk about this. So my message is that I share with people, look, this is what I've been through. And also I bring in some examples of different people that have been through tough times. And I tell them that whatever you might be going through now, there is hope. And
it's not the end of the world.
Yes, and also I share Christ to them, because I think we cannot take out Christ in mental health, because Jesus Christ is also is the solution for mental health. I've seen people that have gone for therapy, for counseling, but they still commit suicide. So that is also a very important message also about Christ. And so that's it.
So now it's a good thing that I'm talking to a person that looks at things from a spiritual point of view and from a mental point of view.
Yes.
Would you say this is, where would you say it bends more on? Is it on the mental perspective or on the spiritual perspective?
It's on the mental perspective. So for me, I try also the best I can, because I'm a Christian and I'm a believer, so I also want to reach out to everyone. But the thing is, I know that there is no solution without God. And yes, there is other solutions, like reaching out to a counselor. So first I understand the people I deal with. If I'm dealing with somebody who is a Christian, the way they'll come to me is the way I'm going to handle them. Yes, to handle them. So like for Christians, I enter into the Word of God with them. I begin to share Christ with them, because Christ is the solution. And for somebody who is not a believer, somebody who is not a Christian, I share with them also on the mental health part.
But still tell them about Jesus.
Very important. Yes, I also share with them about Jesus. Like the other time, I sell my books at a Business Society Park. I had there's a certain person that came, is a white person, so he's not a believer, and he was like, you know what, Duncan, your post, like I have a pop-up banner. So he told me something like, just when I saw your post, something came into my mind, like, I've attempted suicide already 4 times, and I think this time around I won't be lucky. So tell me, what's your story? And I began to share my story with him. So him is a person that has cancer. He has cancer, yes. So that has more like, it has disturbed his life, his job and everything. Is not financially, things are not working out for him. And so it was like, how did you overcome? What's your story? So I shared with him that I was sick for 12 years, and this is what happened to me. There was no solution. Just like him told me that there is no solution. So he wanted so much to know, how did I get healed? Where did I get my healing from? Then I shared with him that the time I gave my life to Christ. So is somebody who is not a believer, but just him, he said, I think
being in that position.
Yes, he said, I think I want to try your Jesus. And I do communicate with him almost every day. He said, I want to try your God. And my situation is something that is not changing. Like, I've been to different hospitals. He isn't even walking properly because of cancer. So he said, I want to find solution. How did you find your solution? And he opened up himself, and I began to talk about Christ to him. And from there, I was like, yeah, I think I'll try Jesus Christ as well.
We thank God for that.
Yes.
Now, getting to things that you need to do to prevent yourself from committing suicide, or to prevent someone that's close to you from committing suicide. What are some of the tips that you would give to someone listening out there?
All right. First of all, you need to, the most important thing is you need to ask the person. You be aware of that person, that okay, this person wants to commit suicide, and now begin to explain to them the meaning of life. The greatest gift that we have is the gift of life. As long as you are able to wake up in the morning, and you are able to see the sun, you are able to face the day, then there's a purpose for your life. God is not yet done with you. So what I do is first of all, you share with them, you begin to talk to them, you encourage them, you draw closer to them, and the way also, there are people that want to commit suicide. Like, there's somebody I know wanted to commit suicide. Imagine where you're defiled, you get HIV and AIDS, and from there you just get pregnant, and say, I think there's nothing. Yeah. So that person now begins to want to commit suicide, and so first of all, you also need to take away all the sharp objects in the house. Take them away, and the poisonous substances, because those people, they are able to do anything. So you need to be more closer to them, and don't leave them alone. So be there for them, be where they are, and take out all the sharp objects in the house, and the poisonous like doom and many other things, and just be with them. Yeah.
Okay, so now it looks like our clock is ticking. What is your advice to someone watching out there? And if there's anyone that wants to come through for help, what number can they reach you on? Do you have a Facebook account, your social media? What's your message to the person listening out there?
My message to the person listening to me right now is that there is hope, and there is hope. And whatever situation that you might be going through, God is always near to listen to you, to hear your cries, and He's going to come through at His own time. And He's a faithful God. He never fails, and He never changes. So I want you to always remember that there is hope, no matter the situation you might be going through. And now the most important thing is you need to be able to analyze every situations, because the thing is that it's going to be tough. That one thing we should know, that life is not easy, and one day to get tough, one day to be sweeter. And now when it gets tough, the most important thing is you need to analyze the situation. Think about the situation. Don't be so fast to act. And always remember, the thought you have towards that situation, the way you're going to handle that situation, is the way that is going to bring that feeling, the feeling you feel. So it's not good whenever you have a bad feeling, it causes you to have depression, and it causes you to go through anxiety. So the feeling that we have, the thoughts we have towards a certain situation matters so much. So we should try by all means to have a positive thinking in everything that we do, and we should always understand that there is one day God is going to change our situations. Our lives are going to be sweeter. Things are going to work out. And also to the young people out there that are in love, they say if when one door closes, another one will definitely open up. So we should understand that there is the best is yet to come in whatsoever situation, and we should always also thank God for our closed doors in as much as we thank Him for our open doors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Your Facebook handles for those that would like to reach you.
Okay, my Facebook, my page is Youth Mental Health in Zambia, and also my Facebook account is Duncan Nkoma, and my number is 0966 12 21 40. Yeah.
Mr. Nkoma, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
We thank God for saving your soul so many times, the time you attempted, and we pray that you reach out to so many people and help the people that are going through what you had gone through.
Amen.
Well, for those of you that have just joined us, unfortunately, you've missed out so much, but we're hoping that you will join us next time. We're not saying bye yet. We're just having a conversation with Mr. Duncan Nkoma, who was just sharing with us what he had been through and how he survived, and that anyone as well can survive, because suicide is not the answer to your tough situation. So right about now, we'll take a short break and then we continue with the conversation with Banda Tandiwe on the other side. Stay tuned.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back.
Well, that was so much information. I was just seated in the background and listening and paying so much attention. I hope that you have been able to pick one or two things. Like I earlier alluded, mental health issues are serious issues that do affect our country and the young people. And we've seen so many cases. Other people feel it's spiritual.
Yeah.
But I tend, I'm a Christian, don't get me wrong, but...
No, I understand. Your career requires you to look at things differently, especially when we come to such situations.
Yes.
So I would say there are two sides. It's on the mental perspective and on a spiritual perspective.
So I hope that after this, key points, take home points. Number one, do not get into relationships prematurely. Number two, these are your key points. So you need to take notes.
My key points?
You want the rest of the truth. But these are your key points, Elijah's key points, As we carry on with
Isaac's
this,
key point,
as we
everyone's
carry
key
on
points.
with these relationships, as sweet as they may be, as lovely as they may be, make sure that you know your partner. Do not get into relationships prematurely, and from time to time, make sure that you're okay. Do you feel you're okay most of the time?
I think I would.
And Chainama,
we can have that conversation after the show.
Chainama is just not meant for psychotic patients.
I hate that.
They do have a
perspective,
clinic. They do have a clinic where you can just go and have one-on-one counseling and just express how you feel if you're going through something. They do that. Even UTH has, I think, clinic.
I think
I'm not sure the clinic,
majority
but there's a
of
clinic
the
as
health
well.
centers have that. Even some health center in my area where my parents are, which is McKinney, they
Or you
have
can
that.
just call me, you know.
What?
Call me out. Like,
Me?
let's have that.
You think I have that?
People are making faces. Well, if I did give you, like, from the points I've given you in the program, I'm sure if you're wise enough, you have been able to take 1 or 2 points concerning mental health. But I hope that this should be the last time we're talking about people being killed because of being in a relationship and being
suicide because it didn't work out.
No, I think he was. Why he committed suicide?
It's because he.
I'm not speaking on his behalf, but I feel he was just scared because he knew the repercussions.
Spiritual, mental.
As organized a life imprisonment, it's better I just die.
And also, I think that clicked also because the lady that killed that gym instructor was sentenced death by hanging. It wasn't life imprisonment. Like, until a doctor says, na for muntu. So, in as much as you are thinking of such things, think of such. And murder, suicide is not the solution.
Well, and looking at also the voter registration exercise extension.
Go get yours. Now I can hit you on something. Oh! Ha! Jesus is Lord.
You need to be right with your facts.
Did you get your
it's in my handbag. Can I remove it and give it to you? Okay.
Please do.
You know, sometimes get your facts right before embarrassing yourself. Especially live on television. I just can't find it. But anyway, I did manage to get my voter registration card, and I hope that you find your way as well. It runs till tomorrow.
It runs till tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, so make sure you rush to the nearest place and get your voter registration card. Because remember, I'm always excited when I'm talking about these things, because 2021, you make your choice. It will not be because of your dad, because of your mom, because of whoever. You're making that choice based on how you feel as an individual and where you feel our country should be taken.
And also, you are the person that's going to make that change. Just imagine yourself, like I always say, imagine yourself as being your vote, being the one to decide who's going to be president. If
I
you
really just feel like my vote is so important. I feel like I'm the one who's going to make that difference.
The
like,
point of knowing that you will be participating in elections is just amazing. So get your voter's card.
And also an appeal to the ministers who decided to stay on board and still gain money from the government, from the nation.
They're paying back though.
Please pay back. Honorable our Justice Minister, I'm really looking forward, sir, that you pay up. I hope by next week or whenever the funds are ready, or whenever the... Is it the transaction? What is that thing that people like to say?
Which one, the transaction?
As soon as the tender, I'm waiting for something. As soon as the contract clears, we hope that you'll be able to pay. No, because seriously, like most people have owned up. And I feel like it's only fair that they do pay back, especially that they
to be honest and do it. Someone asking you to... This year has been really tough.
60,000 kwacha, it's not much.
During this time, 60,000 is a whole lot of money. We're talking of Corona cutting off certain things. So me earning money and then you're telling me to pay back money that I already used.
No. Give back what is owed.
We shall pay when we have it.
That is my money. That is your money.
Yes, but if I don't have it, I can't steal.
No.
I'm going to pay when it's there. I'll pay.
No. my encouragement to everybody who did obtain that money or still stayed in their positions when they were not supposed to and were still able to obtain this money, please pay back, because my children and my children's children need that money for the benefit of our country.
But you know, it's so funny. Like, isn't there a system that will stop giving you money if you are not doing certain duties?
Are you still going back?
Yes. But anyway,
we have come to the end of the show.
We would like to thank the minister.
We seem to be having some mental health problems right now that we need to attend to. But we have come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that we will be celebrating Christmas next week. And as we earlier said, remember to spend this quality time with your family, with your friends. Do share that meal and just have a great time. Celebrate the birth of Christ, because it's very, very important to be with your family, especially at a time such as this.
Yes, of course. And also remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. So make sure that if you're going to celebrate Christmas, be wise, okay? Don't drink and drive. Always observe the rules on the road, pedestrians and all, the traffic lights. Well, for me, Precious Mzea Sakaleji, Isaac Chifita, Elijah Chifita, and Banda Tandiwe is have a beautiful weekend. Camnet TV, not just another channel. Good morning.